I'll talk you through basically what we have for this evening. So it's not a very long conversation. However, it is something that we must have that conversation about financial habits. So I'm going to share about financial growth for 2025. Uh, some years ago, I started doing this financial growth workshop for members of the community, and for the most part, it was just for the premium members only. But I thought that this time we should do it for every single member and make sure it is recorded so that we can have it for people to also look through as a reference point why we go through the year 2025, right? For those that don't know me already, my name is Silas Ozoya, and like Samuel introduced, uh, I'm the founder and CEO at Super Capital. And Samuel already mentioned that Super Capital is a global microfinance platform that allows its members access to affordable capital and as well as profitable financial opportunities. Three key people that we're focused on are young professionals, small business owners, as well as those that are financially excluded. I have a very short slide to run through, but I'll just talk you through them as we go. So, if you've ever heard about the 2190 rule in psychology, it says it takes 21 days to make a habit and it takes 90 days to make it a permanent lifestyle. Interestingly, when I started out coaching and consulting, I designed my program to fit into a 90-day program because I know that anything you can practice consistently for 90 days becomes a lifestyle. And this is deep rooted in research and in psychology. And what it means is that for every day in 21 days, you have to be able to practice a particular thing continuously. 4 years ago, I wrote a book called, we're in 2025 now, so it's about 5 years ago. So I wrote a book called The 4 M's of Money. So for those that stay to the end of this class, they'll be able to get access to the 4 M's of Money for free. On my store, this book costs 2,000 naira or £2, or depending on the cost. About in this book is how to make money. This is the first thing. Is the third thing, master money. A lot of people stop at the very first one. They make an attempt at the second one and they fail woefully at the last two. But at the end of this particular framework, the first thing is to make money. And everybody makes money, right? As a child, they send you on an errand, somebody gives you a tip. That's how you start making money. Like for most of us, that's the very first thing we remember to first start making money. However, as we grow up, we discovered that there are bills to pay, there are things to do. So we started increasing our income. So one of the things you do in this particular phase is to learn how to increase your income streams. I wrote another book called 5X Income, how to increase your income streams from one stream to 5 streams. But that's a different conversation for another day. In this particular context, one of the ways you can increase your income stream is to monetize your skill. What skills do you have? The default or the fault of a lot of people is the first thing is they don't even have a skill, so they don't know what to monetize. I can talk from now till the end of the world, so I sell it. I can think for the whole world, for Africa and Europe, so I sell it. And that's how I entered coaching and consulting business. Because I can think and I can talk, I combine those two to bring it into a product to become a coaching and consulting business that has given birth to 3 successive companies, right? These days, unlike when we started, there is platforms like Upwork and Fiverr and online tutorial that you can teach some of the things that you know. And that way you're able to monetize your skill faster. The bulk of you listening to this right now are from Nigeria. Now, if you are based in Nigeria and you sell your skills on Upwork or Fiverr and all of that, you know that they charge in dollars. Exchange rate will be in your favor. The other thing to do is If you do have a 9 to 5, which is not a bad thing, that's how I started, right? Have a side hustle. Do ghostwriting, do e-commerce, do virtual assistant, any of those things. You can start something on the side. Work for your boss from 9 to 5. Work from yourself from 9 to 12. I'll say that again. Work for your boss from 9 to 5. Work for yourself from 9 to 12. If you put in that 9 p.m. to 12 midnight every single day into your side hustle, very soon you probably not need a boss anymore. But most of you are watching Netflix. I'm not taking a shot at Netflix, but then again, here we are, right? The other thing to do is to invest in digital assets like selling ebooks or online courses. My last slide, I just talked about a book I wrote 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I am not going to write it again, or I'm possibly just going to review it if I want to, but it is a single effort, multiple income. It's currently on my store. I sometimes just sit down and get an alert. Somebody somewhere around the world has bought my book. That's one way to increase your income. Another thing is to do freelance gigs. In the introduction, when someone introduced me, even though I am founder CEO at Suba Capital, I am also still doing a freelance gig contract with 3 other companies, right? Now, on People Per Hour, TaxRabbit, or Gumtree, you will see stuff that people want to do, and your skills could possibly offer solution to those things. Take those side gig on the side of your 9 to 5 or business or whatever you think you're doing to make money, increase your income, right? The other thing is to sell used items. Most of you have a warehouse of things that you no longer use, but you think you still need. Sell them. There used to be a very popular platform in Nigeria at that time. It was really sad when they closed down. What they just tell you, sell it. You know, they used to sell secondhand stuff on that platform and everything. Sell it. I don't see why you're keeping that shoe, why you're keeping that dress, that trouser. Yeah, the dress can no longer fit. Sell it. The shoe is no longer your size. Sell it. You don't need that chair anymore. Sell it. That's one way to increase your income. Then finally, on this particular conversation is to earn passive income through Airbnb hosting, renting spare rooms. Some of you live in houses that is bigger than what you need. Rent that extra space out, right? Clean up somewhere. Some of you have houses in the village that you only go during Christmas. Rent it out. It's probably 2,000, 3,000, but then again, it's extra income. Now, the next thing to do is to manage your income. So if you track and record unnecessary spending, it will help you manage your income. Budget for everything you need to spend. Budget ahead, not budget when the money is in your account. Budget ahead, right? Use budgeting tools to categorize your expenses and avoid overspending. All of those impulse buying, budget is going to put a boundary to them. Cancel those things that you really don't use. All of those auto-renew subscription on Netflix or Spotify or DSTV or whatnot. The question is, how many times do you really sit down in front of your television? Cancel them. If you don't want to cancel them, well, I have another option for you. But the next option is bulk purchase. A lot of ladies in Nigeria are very popular with this. They go to market once a week or once a month and buy half of the entire market and bring home. That way they are saving money, right? Like we'll talk about Netflix and Spotify and all of that. Join a family plan if you must. If it looks like your life is tied to it, no problem. Join a family plan. I use a family plan for Spotify. I use a family plan for Netflix. I have these things, but like I said, how many times do we really sit there in front of the television? The next one is discounts. Take advantage of discounts. There are places where they have student discounts, they have discounts for women, discounts for children, different kind of discounts. Take advantage of them. You will not look cheap. Trust me, you will not look cheap. Leverage discounts. And then leverage group travels, right? One of the fastest way I've used to see the world is to travel in groups. It becomes more affordable because at the end of the day, you get to share the hotel room with somebody. You possibly make a new friend or not, but at least it will be half the price, right? you book a group trip and everything, it makes it easier. 2 people, 3 people. In 2019, I hosted my birthday on a private yacht. Well, don't tell anybody I told you. It was a group project. Okay, so moving on to the next thing. Automate and optimize. Automate and optimize. With the advent of technology, I don't think that anyone should be wary of automation. Use fintech apps like the Super Capital app to automate your savings, automate your investments, put it on auto debit so that you pay yourself first because you know that that is going to grow in value, right? That way you are able to manage your income and you are able to manage your expenses. The next one is to multiply. In one of our previous classes, I talked about savings being the seed for multiplier of wealth, right? If you have saved for a while, the next big step is to start investing. That's how you multiply your money, right? And at Tuber Capital, one of the things we recommend is investing in agricultural commodities, investing in food processing, right? Because people are definitely going to eat. People are definitely going to exchange food and everything. No matter the war that goes on in the world, since the days of Adam until the end of the earth, people will eat. So if you put your money there, you are sure that you're going to get something, right? Another thing you should consider is real estate investment, both in Nigeria and in the UK. I say the UK now because Super Capital is gradually expanding into the UK, right? Invest in real estate. With all the chaos going on in the world, people still live in houses. Shelter is a basic need. Now, I know that real estate is a capital intensive project. And that is why at Super Capital, you can put your money in our investment pool and we can pull that money together, invest that in real estate, and you are able to become a semi-landlord. Since you cannot be a full landlord with plenty millions, well, you can be a semi-landlord with maybe 10, 20, 50, 100 other people, right? Let's be smart in the way we multiply our money. Finally, for non-tangible assets, buy fractional shares in global companies like Tesla, and then invest in mutual funds that are investing in this company, or buy listed dividends in the UK market, in the US market that would start paying you passively, because that one you don't need to raise a finger. Let them run the companies and let you make the money. Somebody make a joke one day on Twitter and I saw it, and even though it was funny, it also made me think. He said those that started subscribing on Netflix in 2010 would have been millionaires now if they were investing that same amount of money in buying Netflix shares. Because the cost of Netflix shares and the cost of Netflix subscription was almost the same thing at the time. So let's be smart about putting money into where it multiplies rather than putting money into where it is consumed. The next thing is to master money. At this level, you would have built to a certain level where you know you are now a master. You are now building a legacy that is good this now, because in your mind, you think you are very young. You are 20, you are 19, you are 18. Well, I was at one time, but here we are. If anybody drags me that I'm old, I'm coming for you. But my point is this. Health insurance is something that we really don't talk about in our client. People will say, I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. So God is, I know the blood of Jesus is covering you. Also cover yourself. Get a HMO. One of the tricks to do this is to join companies that have HMOs as benefits. That is the biggest hack. So look for startup companies, look for stable companies, as it were. Make sure that HMO is part of the benefit. That way, you and your employer will share the cost, right? Look for a life insurance or a life assurance, as the case may be. So different countries call it different names. So whether it is life assurance or life insurance, that way you know that if something happens, you are protected, you are covered, and those that are taking care of you, your family, they are protected and they are covered as well, right? Call to glory and sad exit is two different things. The reason is because one probably left debt, the other one left a lot of legacy. So, there is the kind of obituary poster you will see, you will know exactly what the person left behind. Pension contributions are by law compulsory, right? But some people ignorantly opt out of pensions, and I wonder why, right? Pensions are to protect your future to a relative extent. So there are private pension fund administrators nowadays, and then you can also contribute to your workplace pension or consider a private pension scheme. This way, if you start maybe as early as 18, by the time you are 35, you have enough money in your pension that would carry you from when you retire, whether it is 55 or 65 or 70, from that point till when you check out from this earth. Because at that time, you have maybe 30 to 40 years max to live, right? So now that you are young and active and working, start putting that money aside. You will think 8%, 10% or something that is being deducted from your pay now is too much. Wait until you are 70 and you can't raise your waist. You will know how far that thing will take you. Finally, this is especially for those that are approaching 40 and above. Estate planning. There is an English proverb that says that there are two things that are certain in life: taxes and debt. You must pay taxes to the government, and you are definitely going to die, whether we like it or not. God forbid does not stop people from dying. So start thinking of, when I am going to check out from here, what's going to happen? So speak to a lawyer, speak to an advisor, have a lasting power of attorney, start writing a will to say, did I have in the city, who's going to get it, the business I invested in. Because a lot of people die leaving a lot of wealth behind, and their family don't know. It go on and on for ages about how many Nigerians especially have died and their bank accounts had so much money in it and nobody knew anything about it, right? So again, while you are young and hustling, while you are young and making it, while you are young and all of that, remember that one day you're going to be 40, you're going to be 60, you're going to be 80. By the time you start thinking with that legacy mindset, it starts to help you plan and prepare for your future. So that as you start investing in businesses, as you start investing, you start writing those things down, so that your next of kin will not be lost as to what you've worked for. Because at the end of the day, most of us say, oh, we're doing it for the children. Let's make sure that we're able to protect what we have and protect it for those that we love. So this is where we draw the curtain today, just at the nick of time when I've been warned. I believe there are questions in the chat. If you don't have questions already, you probably want to drop them in the chat. I'll look through the chat and answer the ones I can answer. For those that have waited to the end, Sam is going to drop a link, and it is a link to the book I just talked about, The 4 M's of Money. So because you came to this particular conversation this evening, I'm going to give you that book for free. On my store, it costs 2,000, but today I've just given you your urgent 2K. So if you have questions, leave them in the chat, and I'll pick them up in the next 5 minutes. While we are doing that, I want to remind you why we all gathered here today. This is what we gathered here. The Super app, right? The Super Capital app is it's not just an app. It is your ticket to wealth. It is your ticket out of poverty. It is your ticket from anything you think is limiting you financially. We've built this product with you in mind, because we know that getting into all of this investment I've just talked about are very high tickets. You are probably a young professional who is earning less than 100K. How will you start a real estate, investment portfolio, or go into agri commodities and things like that? It is because of you we built this app. You can start with 200 naira every day. You can start with 500, 1,000 every week. You can start with 5,000 every month to start saving. You can start investing with as low as 25,000 naira to start investing in all of these things. And because of our vast knowledge, I've been doing investment and portfolio management for almost 10 years now, if not more, right? Because of our vast knowledge, we are able to manage these funds for you properly. So guarantee that we'll give you 30% depending on market performances. However, they said little is better than nothing. So today, the very way you can start getting out of where you are financially is to follow that QR code you can see on your screen now, download the Super Capital app, complete your KYC, and start your journey to wealth creation. Thank you very much.
So please, if you have any question you want to ask, you can just drop it in the chat box now, and then Mr. Silas can respond. So while we wait for questions, just want to make a few announcements. The ebook Mr. Silas spoke about, the link is in the chat, so you can just go to the chat box and then click on the link there to access the book. Secondly, we'll be sharing a feedback form via mail once this meeting ends. So we want to get feedback from our amazing audience to help us better improve on our webinars. And just so you know, we hold these webinars once every month. So just be on the lookout in your emails. We have your email address, so we'll keep sending you notifications with regards to our upcoming webinars. So please be on the lookout. As I said, the feedback form will be dropped once this call ends. So we'll send the link via mail. So please check it out, fill out the form, fill it honestly. We want your honest opinion so we can better improve on our webinars. Then also, please, want to appeal to you guys, please just go on Twitter, if that one information that you picked out from today's class, from today's webinar, just go to Twitter, post it, use the hashtag FGW 2025, hashtag Super Capital. I go again, use the hashtag FGW 2025 and hashtag Super Capital. Whatever, not just Twitter, but any platform that you are more conversant with or you are usually on, you can put what you have learned there. And also, if you have any question you want to ask, be it now or maybe in the next 2 days, you are thinking on it and you have a question, you can just drop it on Twitter and tag Mr. Silas, tag at Super Capital, and we will respond. Ensure to follow us across all our social media platforms to stay up to date in what's happening, because we put out a lot of content. We also have a blog post via Medium where we share educational content, financial literacy content, anything around finance and tech, we put it out. So just ensure to follow us to get all these regular updates. So that being said, we want to appreciate every one of you for coming. We want to thank you for taking our time. So our social media handle, Mr. Silas just put it there, at Super Capital. Sorry, I omitted that. Social media handle across all platforms is at Super Capital. Twitter, which is now X, Telegram, IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Super Capital across all social platforms. So thank you all very much for coming out for today's class, for today's webinar.